So, hello, peace be upon you. Welcome to another episode of the Happiness Revolution, where I talk about age-old wisdom that will easily change your life and make the world a better place. Age-old spiritual wisdom that makes your life stress-free, happier, healthier, all that kind of stuff. And part of this happiness revolution is knowledge, and part of having knowledge is to clear up misunderstanding and lies that are being constantly perpetuated so that we can't have the revolution. And these lies are being taught through our media over and over again, so that the media, the military and the government are all working together to fight against this revolution, this happiness revolution. And so what I need to talk about in this particular video is to respond to some allegations against Islam, which teaches these spiritual ideas just like Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism did in the past. So I'll give you a link to that video, but I'll be just taking a few quotes from it, giving you an impression of that video and giving you a response as quick as I possibly can. So in this video that I'm talking about, there was a program where they basically said stuff like Islam is the motherlode of bad ideas. So what is Islam? Islam is about love, it's about kindness, it's about competing against one another in doing good stuff. Now you might say Islam is also about treating women badly. Well, very quick response would be that there are most people who convert to Islam, and loads of people converting to Islam, most of them are women, and they like the headscarf idea because it makes life easier. I know women who have to, and this is a common thing, they have to spend so much more time getting prepared for work, so they have to spend tons of time getting prepared for work, and men hardly have to spend any other time because they have been sexualized in the Western media and all this kind of stuff, and they're expected to show off their beauty, etc., etc., whatever. So loads of women like the idea that they don't have to show off their beauty and they can just put a scarf over their head and just get out. You'll see women, sometimes you must have noticed, women know this themselves, they sometimes put a cap over the hood over their heads because they can't be bothered to, and these are people who are not Muslim, because they can't bother to do their hair and stuff like that. A man wouldn't really, not many men do that because they're not so wary about their hair. It's not a sexist thing to say. Actually, women can be a lot more sexist than I seemingly am at the moment about this kind of stuff. Most women are very comfortable with what I'm saying. Anyway, so motherload of bad ideas? What are you talking about? Islam is about being kind to your neighbours and all this kind of stuff. So, very unreasonable statement. So they talk about the same. This guy who claims to be an expert on Islam says that Islam says that you should be killed if you leave the religion of Islam. First of all, and I'll give you a link to this, and I'll just give you one link because I don't think it's necessary to give loads of different links to the Quran, in which I'll give you a link and you can read the rest of the Quran yourself and find out that Islam teaches that there is no compulsion in matters of religion, which basically means you can choose whatever you want. You can choose whatever religion you want to be, whatever. It doesn't make a difference. Okay, so that's that. That answers that point. You see, these points, firstly, I'm trying to say it in a non-hateful way because Islam teaches, and we have this motto in in Islam, and you'll see if you search it out, love for all, hatred for none. So I'm not being hateful against these people who are saying these things. It's not very good, and it's very dangerous what they're doing, because they're doing what Hitler did to the Jews. They're demonizing Muslims, like Hitler demonized the Jews so that they could use the Jews. So Hitler demonized the Jews to use them as scapegoats and persecute them, whatever, scapegoats for all the problems with Germany. And the media at the moment is not just using them as scapegoats. You're not just using Muslims as scapegoats, first demonizing them, then using them as scapegoats, but killing millions of Muslims just to steal oil. So it's all part of one process. The media, the military, the government, all connected to this end. So just be aware that try not to support these things too easily or fall prey to their ideas. These are malicious ideas, and they're not just in isolation. It's just not the views of one or two people. Just be aware of what's happening. So this guy also says that 20% of all Muslims are basically jihadists or secret kind of jihadists, right? Well, first of all, there's no such thing as a jihadist in Islam, and he also mentions the word Islamist, which you keep hearing on the news. There's no such thing. There's only a thing called a Muslim, okay? And so he said these people, 20% of the Muslims, are the people who either will blow themselves up to or kill you, whatever, or secretly want to do that, and they try to use the democratic system somehow to do that. They want to take over the world and then impose their ideas on you. Okay, well, maybe these people who are saying such ugly things should go and meet their neighbours who are Muslims, whatever, out of the streets, and they'll realise that's not true. Now, they get this fact from a poll which doesn't connect to their fact. They said there was a poll taken of British Muslims that said they wanted the people who made the Danish anti-Islam Danish cartoons to be prosecuted. So what does that mean? They wanted to not take the law into their own hands, but they wanted the law to prosecute people who are effectively they're not being factual, but they're just trying to stir up hatred, etc., etc. So there are already laws in Britain against hate preachers. When they're Muslims and they're hate preachers, there are laws against them. But when they're not Muslims, somehow they're not hate preachers, even though they're preaching hate. What can I say? Yes, but at the same time, you'll find, I want to add to that, is that, yes, they should be prosecuted for trying to cause trouble unnecessarily. It's just bad journalism. The news is about portraying the facts and being rational and all that kind of stuff, not just putting rude cartoons and not giving a balanced view, or not giving the other person or the other side's point of view. But at the same time, most Muslims didn't support any violent protests or anything like that. So Muslims are caring people who care about society, and they're known, but the people who they mix up with, the people who know them, who are not Muslims, know them for studying hard and being family-centric and caring for the communities and their neighbours, because that's what Islam teaches you to do. Okay, I'm trying to be quick. How many minutes have I used? I've covered up the minute timer thingy. Okay, almost 10 minutes. So, they're really horrible to women and homosexuals. I think I've already said that basically most converts to women in the West, most converts to Islam in the West are women. They like it. They like the headscarf thing because it makes their lives easier. whatever, all the loose clothing. It just makes life easier. They don't have to wear mini skirts in cold weather and all this kind of stuff. It's hard work not being a Muslim woman. Muslim women are very happy, and if you like to say they're not, maybe you should ask a Muslim woman if they're happy or not, rather than putting your prejudices on them. There's another poll taken, another survey taken about Egyptians. 90% of them believe that, this is what this anti-Islam guy said in this program, 90% of Egyptians believe that the death penalty is a price for leaving Islam. First of all, the impression I get about Egyptians generally, they're not very religious, so they might not know about their faith, but I've already said that's not part of the faith. And so just because they believe that that might be part of the faith, that certainly doesn't mean that they believe that that's what should happen. There are all sorts of meanings to these polls, but my impression of Muslims from all over the world is that they're very caring people, and they're very social people, and people who travel to places like Egypt or whatever, they'll know that they're very family centric and all these kind of things. And a point I'd like to make, a very good big point I'd like to make, is that women are the bosses in these families, in these Muslim families. You should check them out. That's the reality. And I'm getting a bit tired of explaining these very simple points. I'm getting a bit tired because it's very late and I'm a bit tired anyway. But the point is, to end the video, feel free to ask questions. Make comments, whatever. When I end the video, because my throat's going.